How are you, Mr. Shabazz? Thanks a lot for attending this interview, helping me out with my paper
Yeah,
on
no
December
problem.
5th, 2022. I would like to start the interview by asking, why did you choose a career in real estate?
Yeah, absolutely. So I chose a career in real estate because I had already kind of been in real estate. So it wasn't anything that was like brand new. I didn't know if I really like chose a career in real estate or real estate chose me. Right. So I'm 40 now. I bought my first property when I was 23. So I've been in real estate since then. A couple years later, bought, another property, started doing some fix and flip as well. So it's been about 18 years since I've been in the business, but really, I got my real estate license to be licensed as a real estate agent about 7, 8 years ago, right?
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then I work part time. I work 2 years part time as a part time real estate agent, and then I have my full time career as
As
well.
an investor.
Yeah, well, no, my full time, was a 9 to 5, right?
Okay.
So at the time, I was working for the number one sports nutrition company in the world, and I had worked there for about 5 years. I ended up getting four promotions in 5 years. When I left from that job, that career, I should say, I was running 3 shifts as a quality control supervisor. Sorry, quality control manager. Is when I left there, running 3 different shifts. I had probably about 60, 70 employees underneath me. But my real estate career had, started doing very well. And
Mm.
when I got that promotion, it started hurting my real estate business. And
Wow.
because now I have I got 2 cell phones, I got 2 laptops. Even when I'm out of the job, I'm still working, and it just started to hurt my real estate career. And I said I had to make a decision, and I said, well, it's going to be real estate because I figured the time that I was putting into my 9 to 5, I could triple that from my calculations, that I could triple that in a year's time if I had an additional 8 to 10 hours, because that's what I was working at the 9 to 5, 8 hour, 10 hour, 12 hour days. And
Mm.
so I went full time real estate. I didn't take a leap. Some people say take the leap, or have faith or whatever. No, I built the business to the point where I didn't have to jump off a cliff and hope my parachute opens. That it
Right.
really pulled me into it. And I said, because I'm losing somewhere, and it's just which side am I going to lose on? And then I end
The
up going
trade-off.
in.
So you calculated the trade-off.
Absolutely. So when it's a risk, when it's a risk, that means you taking a risk that things could go right, they could go wrong, they could flop.
Right.
But when it's a calculated risk, then at that point it's basically a plan.
Or a quality decision.
Yeah, a quality decision. Yeah. So um I end up going on to doing very well. My top year in personal sales was 11 million in sales value. That put me at top 5% in the nation out of over a million agents. I also ended up starting my own brokerage, and brought on some agents underneath me on my brokerage as well. So it's been a good ride. Like I say, real estate didn't. I didn't actually choose real estate. I would say real estate more so chose me. But
Wow.
I guess it started back when I first bought my first property, which is a story in itself, right?
Yes.
But that was me digging in, me learning, me going to the library, looking up on Google or Yahoo, like what real estate entailed and purchasing property entailed. And I guess that's when it really started, is because I always knew that real estate, there's wealth in real estate, right? So I saw it was easy for people to get real estate and obtain it. So I said, well, that's probably one of the easiest routes I have. And I went in as an investor, but everybody told me that I should be a realtor because I was advising everybody on everything. And I said, no, that wasn't for me. But at the time it wasn't, but I wish it was. I wish I could have got into being a realtor or a real estate agent a whole lot sooner.
Wow.
Yeah.
First time I heard that. And hey man, that story. I mean, it runs off so smooth because it's your life. And I see that, you're enjoying your success. But from me understanding life, that's a scary story. Because it could have, it could have went either way. Just think about a person if they had more of a pessimistic mentality or pessimistic perception on things, or just a traditional way of looking at things.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
took your own route, and you did what you had to do. You took some big risks. You took some big
Yeah.
risks, but I
It's
commend
it's
you on
it's
that.
it's big risk. Like I said, if it's not calculated, it's a big risk.
Right,
Right. I hear people saying all the time, have faith, jump, jump and hope your parachute opens. Well, I don't necessarily maneuver that way.
right.
That's a risk. So it wasn't as big of a risk, but yeah, for some it still would be a risk because they said, what if I'm in a good cushy job right now. What if it doesn't work? Well, for me, I look at things differently. Like, what if it does? What if I don't go after it? And then, I figured I could always go back and get another job.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
that confidence, and I can tell that's just from listening to you. That's a big driver for you because you
yeah,
have you have that confidence, and
yeah. Now, keep
that's
in
great.
mind, it did get scary for a minute, right? Business got a little bit slow, and I'm starting to second guess. And I just quit my job, and what did I do? Am I crazy? And I got to the point I was sitting there and I'm laying in my bed one night and I'm looking at the ceiling like, what did I do? And I started Googling DoorDash and Uber and, like, oh man, I'm just going to go back I just need to get some money right now. And then the point where like it broke me. And I was like, so I'm on DoorDash. I set up an interview on DoorDash to go in and do the orientation or whatever. But before the interview, they told me that I had to buy a warming bag to keep the food warm, right? Before I go, right? As part of me going on the DoorDash. And so now I'm Googling warming bags. And I said, man, is this what it's come to? It didn't even feel right for me to sit there and be Googling warming bags. I'm actually gonna buy a warming bag to keep. I'm gonna be able. I'm literally like I quit my job and I'm literally gonna like be a delivery man. Right? Nothing wrong with DoorDash.
I know
Nothing
you
wrong
saying,
with
but
Uber.
that's not my story.
But
Yeah.
that wasn't my. That ain't. That's look. That ain't my style. That was not even my style at this point. I'm too old. I felt like for that. Right? So I doubled down, man, and I literally messaged and called everybody I had in my phone book, social media, where whoever I could talk to that next day, and I literally picked up two clients that needed to buy houses, and I said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm in the right business. I just need to make sure I lock in." Yeah, but so I did have my
Right.
scary moment, but it was less than 24 hours, man. I was
Man,
back out of it.
that's probably all that it needed to ignite you, you know? I mean,
Yeah. I
you
credit
know,
it to the warming bag, man. If they didn't make me buy a warming bag, I probably would have went to that orientation.
man, oh man. So, my next question would be, um, how did you end up with the current position that you have now? It sounds like that you run your own business, but you are a coach as well, and you're still doing your agent and a brokerage, right? Broker.
Yeah. So I have
Right.
my managing broker's license. So I had my own
Okay.
office at one point. Since I moved my business under the EXP umbrella, because it just makes more sense. So
Okay.
I don't have to actually use my managing broker's license there, but it creates a leverage for everything else that I'm doing, right? Actually, I probably wouldn't even got my managing broker's license if I had noticed this company before, right? But it's all great experience. I can say that I've been through it, and I weathered the storm, and I know how it works, the ins and outs, which then comes into benefit for me today as well. Um, Same way with my story, about potentially doing Uber, right? That also is a common story that people will have, and now I have the ability to know how to talk them through that, right? Because now I can relate. So it's all been worth it. Um, but even when it comes to um, me being a coach, me being a top producing real estate agent, me training agents, and also training individuals on the financial side as well, because I do some business financial coaching as well, business loans and building business credit, etc. So, but how did all of those things come to pass? I mean, if I gotta boil it down, man, it's belief in yourself, belief in myself, belief in my abilities, belief in my talents, belief that in my weaknesses, I could turn those into strengths gradually over time. Believing that playing to my strengths would benefit me. And then once you have that type of belief, that you can't fail as long as you're trying, as long as you're moving forward, as long as you're putting one step in front of the other and making some progress and some progression. Then at that point, it's a decision. All right. Now that I map this thing out, now that I have the belief in myself, now that I know how I'm approach it from a mindset perspective, now I have to make the decision to actually do it, stick with it, and stay disciplined through it all. So
Wow.
that's what I got to. I can only boil it down and give it credit, to those two things.
Wow, that's amazing. And would you like to acquire any other positions in the industry? Or is there any other positions that you're targeting in the real estate industry?
Well, I mean, I guess not really targeting. Of course, you always want to increase, your revenue. You want to build. You want to help build up others, right? I guess that's a target is, how many other individuals can I get to a higher level of success, a greater financial status. Um, it's impact. It's how much impact can you leave on this world? And I guess that's what I'm really going after. I think the
Wow.
money is the byproduct. I
Ooh,
think the titles are byproducts. The best title you can receive is one that's given to you, not one that you self-proclaim, right? So I want to continue to leave impacts on people. The titles and the wealth, I think, will come, as a part of the territory.
wow, that's amazing right there. That's amazing to have that type of spirit, to
Yeah,
have that type of
yeah,
spirit. I mean, it's one thing to you watch it on TV and you hear it on the radio, but to actually hear somebody to profess that,
yeah, yeah.
man, that's something else. And that says a
That's
lot about your character, brother.
that's a level of experience. That's a level of maturity. That's a level of really like boiling it down to your why. Everybody says your why, right? So that's really like honing in on that thing where things it's not so much material anymore. Because I had a time in my life where things were material. It was for the dollar, right? But you can only make so many dollars. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, that's
Right.
you can keep making money,
No,
but
I
no, you
get it.
can,
I get it. I get
yeah,
it. I get it. I get it. But
before it
it's only
starts to
but so much
become,
that can satisfy you until
yeah,
it's just money now. Like,
yeah. I mean, other than doing it for time freedom,
mm,
because at the end of the day, why do people start businesses? They really start businesses for time freedom. It's because the more money you have or can make, basically you can buy your time back. Because when you go to the 9 to 5 job, you're trading your time, right? And more than anything, you're trading the value that you provide within that time frame that you're there for those 8 hours. See, but you're giving your time somewhere else. And at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, no matter how much we're getting paid per dollar per hour, right? Or on a salary, is it truly worth my value? Because if a company actually pays you your true value, they cannot be in business because they need to make a profit. So you're never gonna get
Right.
paid your true value, right? And then the other part of it is, okay, maybe you make a lot of money at a 9 to 5 job, but can you call off when you want to? Do you have the freedom, if you get sick? Are you worried about somebody writing you up, etc.? Right. So it's a level of freedom that I guess even money can't buy, right? So yeah.
That's serious, man. You dropping it on me. uh, are you satisfied with the amount of money that you make? And it's
I
kind of
mean,
like I mean, you really summed it up when you said it's only but so much. Like it sounds like you passed the degree of satisfaction when it comes to money, and now you have a totally different purpose.
yeah, yeah. I
Correct me if
mean,
I'm wrong.
I guess, not being concerned, right? Like that's the main thing. A lot of times people say they want to get rich, but they don't really want to get rich to be rich. They want enough money to where they don't have to be concerned if something were to arise or a problem came up. And some things, yeah, love and compassion and all of that is very important, but some things only money can solve, right? So I think am I at a level where I'm not concerned? Yeah, I'm okay with that. But am I at a level where I'm satisfied with the amount of money that I've generated? No, because actually it's like the more money you make, the more you can help. The more you can give back to the community. Yeah, I can go and feed the starving children or go out and by the expressway and pass out food and things of that nature. Absolutely, we can all do that. But if the goal is to have a big impact, like a big impact, if you're a person that wants to have a big major impact, well, it may take money, but really more than money, it may take influence. But sometimes you won't even have the influence until you have the money. So it all kind of goes hand in
Right.
hand, right? Because when you think about charities and things of that nature, it's not really the money that's driving people to donate, it's the influence of the individual for the particular cause,
Right.
right? So if I have more influence, which probably comes from success, which again, money is a byproduct, then my influence can generate the attention on a particular cause to then have a major impact.
Mm. Uh, what would you say is your best skill?
My best skill, I guess my best skill would be communicating with people in a way that makes something very difficult and complex simplistic.
Wow.
I think that's probably my best skill. Um, is just breaking down something and just putting it in a just a normal layman's terms way of saying it, phrasing it, so that people can get it, and then they're not fearful of trying to go implement it. Because if someone can't, if they can't understand something, if they just don't get it, they won't act on it, or
Right.
it won't sit with them, or it won't resonate with them. It won't encourage them because they're not processing it, right? So it's like, and part of that is understanding the individual that you're talking to, because then like I can't put the same thing the same way or explain things the same way for this individual that I could for that individual, right? They will get it differently. Like some of the metaphors that I would use would be different from this person to that person, especially if I
Right.
get to
Okay.
know them and get around them. I know I have to say things different ways for them to really pick it up. So I think that's probably one of my best skills, and that should be one of your best skills if the goal is to have a lasting effect or to take people, elevate them to another level, is to say it in a way that they get it.
Speak the language of the people, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And my final question would be, do you think you would ever change your career?
I mean, I don't ever see myself getting out of real estate in general. I don't see that. But would I add to it? Yeah, yeah. I've already added some things to it. I think there's when there's growth and elevation, there's going to be changes. I think change is inevitable. But I don't think that I would ever stop doing real estate. You got to understand, there's a lot of people that will have a 9 to 5 career, a salary career for their entire life. And then when they go into retirement, they get a real estate license because they're looking for something else to do, pick up some income, kind of move on their own flexible schedule, and then they'll
Right,
get a real estate license in retirement, right? Me, I got a real estate license way before I retired. I'm in this business, this industry way before I retired. So in the form of it, in the sense of it, like I'm already closer to retirement than a lot of people because I'm already in the business.
right,
So I don't think I'll ever get out of real estate because this is a business people try to get in when they feel like they're done working. so, so
yeah,
I would
you'll
have
really
to.
be seasoned when they as they
Oh
entering.
yeah, oh yeah. When
You
they get
really be the
into it,
coach.
I'll really be seasoned, and then there'll be other aspects probably to this business and maybe other businesses that I've leveraged from this business, and I've used this to leverage other ventures or something of that nature too. But I don't see myself ever being out of real estate.
Wow, Mr. Shabazz.
Look, you got to think about it like this, man. Pandemic hit, right?
Okay,
What businesses like made it through, right? Through the pandemic, through COVID. What lasted? Food, housing, and medical, right? Like hospitals
absolutely,
and those were
absolutely.
those were the three things that thrive, right? And I'm in one of them. Why would I get out? Like
Right, and that's the pandemic.
man, and it's
So
still
it's almost like it's recession proof.
it's and you know what? Even when the recession came and the houses dropped a lot in 2008, it was still a lot of money being made in real estate, and that
That's
was an
right.
opportunity to buy cheap, right? And then buy and hold and rent out, and then when it's time to sell and make a profit from equity or refinance and borrow against that money and go back and buy something
Right. It
else.
was
So
a
like
lot of deals to be made.
yeah, even in the worst times, it was still a good business to be in, right? If you know how to be in the business, right?
Right.
There were people that didn't make it through 2008. They lost their shirts, right? There's individuals right now because interest rates are slightly high. So there's some individuals that are real estate agents and loan officers that will not make it through this. They'll be out the business, right? But if you know how to maneuver the business, it's never a bad time to buy. It's never a bad time to be a real estate agent or be in real estate.
Right. It's just the right price. Know your
It's the
prices.
you know your numbers,
Know
know
your
your numbers,
numbers.
and like anything else, be prepared to put the work in
That's,
because
that's
being a real estate agent is being an entrepreneur and starting your own business.
Mr. Shabazz. I want to thank you. I really want to thank you more for the motivation and the inspiration that you gave me because I'm following in your footsteps. And just to hear the steps that you've taken, even though you describe them as being calculated, but to be honest, nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. Tomorrow it just haven't gotten here yet.
Yeah,
So I respect your bravado. I respect your bravery. I respect the confidence that you have in yourself, especially as a black man in America. And
appreciate it.
hey, I would love to stay in touch. I'm going to always wish good for you and send prayers up for you. And
Hey
thanks for
man,
coming through for me. Thanks for
last
coming. And
last
this
thing that I
didn't
want to
cost.
say. Last thing I want to say because you just said that nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring, right? See,
Yes,
that's
sir.
one way of thinking about it, right? Like, man, you don't know what's around the corner. But for me, I don't know if tomorrow is going to come.
That's right.
So let me do everything that I can to make it happen now.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's a sense of urgency. That's a sense of urgency that's very important. It's a sense of urgency that I can't do it tomorrow. I need to do it now because tomorrow may not come. Not, you don't know what it's going to bring. You may not get a chance for it to
That's
bring
right.
anything.
That's right.
So like
That's
get it
right.
done now, man. Go all in, man.
All
Yeah,
in. All
all
in.
in. Yep.
That's our motto. That's
Yeah,
our
man.
credo right there.
So look, let's stay in touch, man.
I
And
will.
you in the real estate
Hey, I sent you my
business,
phone. Yeah, I sent you my phone number. I sent you my email as well. I'm going to resend my phone number, and
are you
then
licensed?
no, I passed the test, but I haven't taken a license.
The state and the national?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I wanted to, the semester is about to end right now. So
yeah.
this may be part of my finals. Once this end, then I'm going to go ahead and move forward when I have the time. Because the
Man,
school is like,
let's
it's like baby, the school is like babysitting. Everybody getting in so much stuff. They give you so much work to make sure you don't have additional 10 minutes to do nothing.
well look, man, when you get that license, man, let's talk about EXP
Okay, cool.
because it puts you in. And you ever read the book Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad?
A long time ago. I
The
may need to
four
reread it.
the four income quadrants: employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. Okay. Now, most real estate brokerages will only put you in one of the four categories, and that's self employed. They do not
Okay,
put you in the business and they do not put you in the investor. You have to go and put yourself in those categories. But EXP puts you in self employed, business, and investor categories, right?
got it.
Powerful. It's a powerful, powerful model. And that's why I left my brokerage that I had. I shut that down and moved and transitioned over to EXP. It's that powerful. So that's something we definitely need to talk about. You definitely need to see it before you make any decisions with your real estate license.
You got it. So what I'm going to do is, hey, I'm gonna reach out. I see you reached out to me when I was a completely stranger. Now you
Yeah,
know me a little well, so I'm not worried about you responding back. And once I knock down that goal that you just set, I'm gonna come through so we know, where our levels of commitment is at.
man. Let's go. Let's
Let's
go,
go.
man.
Thank you, brother, man.
All right, no problem, bro. See you at the top.
Yes, sir.